Irrigation systems continue to be the best solutions to drought-related challenges, especially if the country is to achieve food security. In the following report, UBC TV's Farm Matters visits the NirCard Agro Farm in Kasese district, where water, research and intention meet with a vision to establish the first ever capital city of tomatoes in Africa. In the bushes of Nyakakakindo village, Karugibati Ward, Hima Town Council in Kasese district, is a large-scale controlled environment agriculture, commonly known as greenhouse farming.
Because this variety is not resistant.
The dream is to establish what has been termed as the capital city of tomatoes in Africa.
We do vegetables and we do call it organic farming, where you have tomatoes, the big ones, and then the cherry tomatoes for salad. Then you have bell peppers, red and yellow, and chilies. Then we are going to introduce cucumber as well. Now, whatever you will see in the plant means we are trying to protect it from our viruses or bacteria. Whatever you see in the ground then is resistant to those bacteria, whatever. But we are not like other farmers, as we said. Even the tomatoes are enclosed. So the tomato will never receive rain, it will never get direct sunshine, it will never get a flood. Meaning you've controlled the growing environment, not a neighbor affecting you. Because what we have here, you have a good agricultural practice, but a neighbor will not have. It rains and all of you suffer the same consequences.
To address the impacts of climate change, the NirCard Agro-Business Farm is strategically located on the sidelines of River Mobuku, where water is extracted for irrigation purposes.
You cannot do things the way your grandfather did it. No. And it is a shame if we begin lamenting, you see there is a drought, conquer it. Because at the end of that, even when there is a drought, there is always water in the underground reservoirs. Pump it from down, irrigate. Now, the volcanic rock that we are using, one, it's not soil, it is sterile. So it doesn't have any nutrient. And two, it also has no disease. Three, as you can see, it does not retain water. So there is no any chance that the plant roots will rot. So that's why it is preferred. And it is gotten from Xoro. Why Xoro? It is where it is in plenty.
Anything you do, you are competing with the outside world. The idea is you are doing farming as a business. It's not a hobby. You know, our parents before and our grandparents used just to grow for their hobby because they found them growing. But for you to embrace business as farming as a business, you have to do your market survey. If today, for example, I want to grow something like cabbage here and I'm competing somebody out on the field, there is no competitive advantage of me growing cabbage inside the greenhouse. I'm just losing money for the structure. That is why you have to go for the high value crops, something like the herbs. You have the basil, you have mint, you have French beans, because those are very high end crops. And of course now you have tomato.
To control pests, the first you have to begin with hygiene. But also, you can see the place is locked with nets, so they will not fly in. The only area where they pass will be at the door. Now, to minimize even that, we have got two doors, the double. It's a double lock. So, as you enter, a fly might enter, but they will not be like outside. Now, should it be, let's say it is a challenge, then we use what we call trappings. They are plastic sheets that have glue, and they are light in color, so they attract.
The electronically controlled irrigation system supplies both fertilizers and water concurrently to the units covering about 9 acres.
So here we have solar, a generator, and electricity. But the solar is also not enough. That's why we supplement it with generate an electricity. But you can come and see the systems here.
And like other areas, our plant is, as the Honorable said, they are planted in pots and in volcanic ash. Now, so that means you have to, it is you to supply every water and every fertilizer that crop needs. It is all controlled from here. So for each one pipe, it is going to a different greenhouse. And then we regulate the time automatically from the phone. That is how I'm able to control my irrigation. If I want to add more water when it is very hot, like today, it is generally cold, so we will reduce the water just from my phone.
Inside the greenhouse, it's a sea of green, row after row of tomato plants standing tall, heavy with green fruit. Each plant supported, irrigated, and thriving. The harvest period goes up to 9 months.
The crop is just like a human being. You have to take care of it. And we say there are 3 key things. Number 1 is feeding, what they feed. You have to give the plant a balanced diet, whether it is what we call micronutrients and the macronutrients. You have the nitrogen, you have the phosphorus, you have to balance everything. So that is 1. Number 2, it is what we call crop protection. You have heard say we use neem, and the idea is visit the crop every day so that when you see something, before even it becomes huge, you have already applied what is supposed to be applied. Number 3 is called now maintenance. If you see our crop, as the crop grows, you have to reduce some leaves so that also the plant can live, can be able to breathe and live very well. You are maintaining the same way you clean your house. It's the same way you are maintaining the plant.
When do you harvest?
So first of all, after it, I go to the nursery. I come with the seeds, I put them in the nursery. In the nursery, they stay for 21 days. Then I come and plant here, the seedling now, when it is 21 days old. From that 21 days, you count another 75 days. That is the first day you will have your first harvest. From there on, you harvest every day for the next 9 months. Yes.
For the next 9 months, in each plant, how many tomatoes do you harvest?
Now it depends. You know, sometimes the weather is the determinant, and sometimes just it depends which fruit came first. So there is a day you will harvest like 3 in a plant, other days 1, other days in this plant you don't have, but the other one you have 4.
But because here it is hot,
Yes.
the one which is in pink or yellow, because of the heat, tomorrow it will be red.
Yes, exactly.
Now when it is a rainy season, where you've been harvesting less every day, you harvest after every 2 days.
Yes. You skip a day.
The spacing of the tomato plants is intentional.
Remember, it is not taking anything. The spacing of tomato is between 40 centimeters to 50. That is the standard. In between plants. That is how you space them. Remember also, the reason for spacing is because of diseases. What you realize with our farm is the space in between. That means there is a lot of aeration. If you go to other farms, you are walking and the plants are touching you. But me, I have compensated this with this one so that I can be able to walk in between. And there is free aeration.
Apparently, the NirCard Farm harvests about 4 tons of tomatoes daily with its market in areas of Kampala.
Here now, the other first one, we get 1 to 1.5 tons a day. Now here, you are into 3 to 4 tons. You are not affected by any weather situation.
Yes.
Now, whereas in people are crying of famine in Karamoja, here you can't have famine because you've used science to solve challenges of nature. So basically, you're not allowing nature to dictate to you when to produce and when to not. And, there is no excuse where Dubai can produce, Egypt can produce, Israel can produce when they are in typical desert. Now here, even where we have shrubs like in Karamoja, we call it a desert when it is not. So we have no excuse. We just have to embrace science.
Yes.
Over 400 people are employed through the entire value chain, with the local community not spared.
On this project, we have 460 workers directly employed. Then we have got suppliers now of food. You know, they eat here breakfast and eat here lunch. So those are the indirect people. But as you've seen, this is the only village currently that has no poverty in Uganda. Because this Nyakachindo village, each household has got an employee here. The lowest earning 480,000, that's the lowest. But it goes also up to millions. Now it means in 2 months, each household has gotten PDM from here. The rest is profit. Now when we started, this was bush.
Yeah.
Everywhere, bush, bad houses and so on. But when we started, you can see these are cattle keepers. Now each household has gotten now cattle, sheep, not from loans, but because they are earning. Now, basically, we have transformed the village and the parish. You move around, you're not going to see poverty.
And also don't forget, every morning, every evening, some people have to move using border. So again, they support the border business because we pay for fare. Yes.
And even pay local tax.
Uh-huh.
We pay local service tax religiously
Yes.
for 7 years, so the town council is also benefiting.
Yes.
In the locality, the farm has extended its irrigation strategy to support over 14 acres of Hass avocado. Its lengthy lifespan and availability of markets across the East African community informed the decision of the NirCard Farm.
Everybody, including us, we have gone into Hass avocado to certify that market. But to do it right, you need to do it the way it's supposed to be done, because this was a variety that was developed not from Uganda. Therefore, to benefit from it, you need to do it the way it's supposed to do. The spacing, to make sure that where you've put it, the terrain has to meet the drainage issues that affect it. Like, for example, it's not supposed to be in waterlogged areas. There's not a friend to water logging. And that's why here we've raised the soils to create a terrace, so that when it rains, the water can slip through. And then you need to give it the water and the fertilization it needs. Now, why you do this drip irrigation is to make sure that the plant gives you the maximum. Now, the ordinary peasant in Hass avocado will depend on rain. And when it is a dry season, the avocados will abort. They will try to put the young ones, and then you will see them drop off because they are failed to get the water. It means when they are bought, you will not be able to get the quantity that you estimated your garden will give you. Now, with the environment we have in Uganda and irrigation, it means you're able to harvest two cycles in a year. If you're ordinary peasant, most likely it could be one, because you don't control the fertilization and irrigation. When you're planting, you need to know the soil as well. So it is very important for us farmers to always take our soil to the laboratory. You can have the government analytical laboratory, you can have another laboratory to check your soil, to understand its biology, understand its chemistry. Now, like here, we have the certifications of everything. We know the biology of this soil, we know the biology of it, but also we know the diseases that are there. And when you go in Uganda, most soils, like in Africa, you'll find virus, you'll find bacteria. It means if there is bacteria, there is virus, you need to find a solution. And the solution that we identified as here, we had to get the variety that is resistant to virus, resistant to bacteria, even resistant to fungus, so that you reduce the loss, you reduce the plant not living up to its life expectancy, and also you reduce on the amount of chemicals you will apply to counter those. However, there are pests that you may not control, like birds and the others. That one we shall employ the human elements to chase them away. If possible, if you can't, then you can even put nets, but humans are enough to chase them away.
At a large scale, one mistake affects thousands of plants. Such research-based and intentional farming remains solutions to food security challenges.
These plants you're seeing, they are 6 months, and they are looking so healthy, not because of magic, no. You apply the science of the crop. In Africa, we go where we have competitive advantages. And this type of agriculture is one of the areas where we may not have the advantage in artificial intelligence. The Chinese and Americans are tussling it out. We don't have the advantages in information technology. But despite having artificial intelligence, having information technology and other technologies, those people have to eat. So we said, okay, we shall feed the human race. And that is one of the decisions we took. But also people fall sick. And that's why we went also into medicinal farming. Farm medicine, process it, and make the final medicine on the shelf.
The effects of climate change have been attributed as the major concerns, calling for irrigation systems to aid farmers. Most available water sources are decreasing, causing farmers to count losses due to prolonged dry seasons.
We constructed it to hold water, which we pump from the river Mobuku. We have an extraction permit. So it comes here and then it's what we use to irrigate gardens of avocado. We use the same system to irrigate the tomato gardens.
Government, through the Solar-Powered Irrigation Systems project, has secured about 434 systems across the country. Recently, Parliament passed a loan to the tune of over 168 million euros from the UK Export Finance and Citibank to advance phase 2 of the project. The irrigation dams established here not only provide water, but are also used for fish farming. Each dam harbors over 10,000 fish, feeding on the rejects from the tomato farm.
So from the farm, once we finish harvesting, we sort. And the premium product goes to our customers, and then you have the rejects. These rejects, be it the pepper or tomato, we don't throw them away. This is what we use to feed our fish, which is inside here, this pod.
The fish also provide natural fertilizers, which the irrigation system concurrently pushes to feed the Hass avocado.
So the fish will eat our rejects, and then they give us nitrogen in the water, and that is what we are using to irrigate in the avocado. So, yeah, but I have seen some. Yeah. So, and then, of course, after every 6 months, we harvest the fish for eating and also for selling.
Now, this particular pump pumps from the pond to send to the avocado garden. Now, because there is a sensor here on the other side, once the feeding of the avocado through irrigation is done, then it will send a signal here and it will switch off automatically.
All said, the real beauty of this project lies underground and along every drip line. The irrigation system delivers exactly what each plant needs. When it needs it, no waste, no guesswork. It's a quiet system, but it's what turns acres of tomatoes into consistency, profit, and food security.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.